Hi everyone, it's me Sheree. I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to tell you about my labor and delivery for baby Marley. Let's jump right into the video. Who was born September 13th, 2019. She was 6 pounds, 13 ounces. She was born at 4:59 p.m. She was 20 inches long. On September 12th, well, let's rewind. At the end of the pregnancy period, Michael and we were really adamant about getting her to come out. So I was working out a lot, doing a lot of exercise, doing a lot of squats. I was taking these primrose oil pills. Yeah, I think it's called evening primrose oil. Yeah, I was taking those pills. It's supposed to soften your cervix so the baby could come out easier. Around 8 p.m. at this time, and Michael used to work from 6 to 2 a.m. I went out to CVS and I went to go get some castor oil. Before I got this, I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and I also searched it up online. Some people said it didn't work, and a lot of people said that it did work. I took that around 9 o'clock at night. I believe I don't know how much I took. I took that at 9 o'clock at night. I couldn't sleep. I don't know why I couldn't sleep. Like, it wasn't anything that was a side effect from the oil or anything. I think I was just probably anxious. So I just couldn't sleep. And then Michael came home, and then I remember just saying hi to him, but he was having friends come over, so he was downstairs with his friends. And then they didn't leave until probably like 3:59 a.m. And I was still up at this time. I was trying to sleep, but I just couldn't. I think I was just too anxious. And then I remember Michael coming up at 4 in the morning, and as soon as he came up and laid down, I fell asleep. And as soon as that happened, I got up and I had to do number 2 really bad, like very bad, because castor oil is also a laxative. So I remember I was sitting on the toilet for about probably 20 minutes, and it was freezing in my house, and I was just using the bathroom, like it's all coming out. Then I come back to the room, lay down, try and go to sleep. As soon as I lay down, nope. And since it was so cold, I took a blanket with me, and then I was using the bathroom for probably another 30 minutes. So in total, I was on the toilet doing number 2 for an hour. And soon as I went back to lay down, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I lay down. I had felt cramping, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, I know I took this castor oil to try and help me induce myself. Is it working? Like, I just felt cramping. But of course, I've had Braxton Hicks contractions, and I've had false situations where I went to the hospital and I wasn't in labor. But I felt this cramping, and it was a different type of cramping than the Braxton Hicks. So I'm sitting here, and I'm laying down, and I'm like, oh no. So then I let it go away, and another one came 2 minutes later, and that one went away. And then another one came, and I'm like just sitting here like, ooh, ooh, doing the moans and stuff. And Michael's like, do you think you're having contractions? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, you should call. So I was like, okay. So I picked up my phone. I called my OBGYN after hours, and they told me, my midwife told me to come on into the hospital so she could check my cervix. So by this time, it's probably about 6:20, and I just feel something, like a little bit of water come out, and I was just like, did my water just break? But it didn't burst or anything. I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like some water just coming out of my vagina, and I'm like, I don't know. So I looked at my underwear, and I'm like, well, there's wet stuff there, but it's not a lot, so I don't know. So I was like, well, I don't feel like going to the hospital like this, so I want to shower. And Michael's like, sure, we got to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I want to shower. This is disgusting. I don't want this in my underwear and me wearing this. No. So I got in the shower. And the hot water felt so good on my body with the contractions. Like, I just turned around, and I don't know how hot the water was, but I just know the whole bathroom was steamy. But with my pain in my back, I just needed that hot water. And after I got out the shower, we left to go to the hospital. We arrived at the hospital around 7 a.m. and I went into triage. And as the doctor's checking my cervix to see how far dilated I am, she told me 2 centimeters dilated, but my water didn't break yet. And as soon as she takes her fingers out, I'm like I just feel a bunch of water just come out, and I'm like, I think my water just broke. She looks and she's like, well, yep, we gotta keep you here. So me and Michael, we just started laughing, and then that's when they're getting everything set up for me. They put my IV in my arm, and that's when they're telling me they're gonna check to see what rooms are available. So probably about 30 minutes later, I called my mom and I told my mom that I was going to be sent to the labor and delivery room. And she was like, okay, let me drop the kids off and I'm going to come right up there. And I was like, okay. When they sent me to the labor and delivery room after triage, as soon as I got to the room, I had the urge to use the bathroom again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go to the bathroom and I'm like, I got to use the bathroom. So I'm just sitting there using the bathroom some more. And I believe I was sitting on the toilet for an hour, and even the nurse came in there and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. We get all set up and my contractions are just coming and coming, and I'm just like, okay, I think I need to take another hot shower because this is getting a little bit intense. So around 9 something in the morning, because my mom drops my siblings off at 9:10. So it was probably around 9:30 in the morning. The contractions were getting a little bit intense, so I decided to take another hot shower at the hospital. I take my shower, and it's probably 10 o'clock by now, and my midwife decides to check me, and she told me I was 6 centimeters dilated. And at this time, I'm like, by this moment, the contractions got too out of control. I started to cry because they were very painful, and I was just like, okay, I want my epidural. So the epidural came at this time. And when the epidural came, I'm sitting here, and my nurse is in front of me, and she's holding me. And then there's 2 ladies behind me trying to put my epidural in. They stick me about 6 times. And then the other doctor, she's like, well, let me just do it because you're new. Her spine's kind of small, so it's a certain way you have to do it. So I'm like, I'm sitting here and got stuck 6 times because you want to let this new lady put needles in my spine? Seriously? Okay. Anyway, back to the story. I get my epidural. After that, everything is just nice and peachy. So then 1 o'clock comes. By this time, by 1 o'clock, my midwife checked me and she told me I was 9 centimeters dilated. And I was like, okay. So then after she checked me, I was able to sleep. I believe I was asleep all the way up until right before Marley came. Yes, I was, because I remember I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have to poop. I was like, I feel like I have to poop. I feel like I have to poop. I have to poop, like, really bad. So then that's when Michael called for the nurse to come in. She came in. She was like, okay, we're going to get the midwife to check you. And I was like, okay. Like, I was like, I really feel like I have to poop. So then the midwife checked me. She put her fingers, and she was like, oh, you're +2. And I was like, what does that mean? She was like, that means it's time to push. And I was like, I'm just sitting here like, seriously? Like, I'm about to have my daughter? Like, wow. After that, when she said it was about the time to push, she was like, we have to bring everybody in here and everything to set up. And I was like, okay. So then I'm getting ready, and it's about 4 o'clock. It's about 3 going on 4 o'clock. And I'm just sitting here, and they prop my legs up, and then they're like, do you want to do it this way? They was like, do you want to push in our hands, or do you want to push on the little pad things? And I was like, I don't remember which one I did first. I did both of them. And I'm just sitting here, and I'm pushing. At a point, I was like, at closest, like, I just remember they put a mirror in front. And I just remember I kept seeing Marley's head and hair, a little bit of hair. And I'm like, okay, Marley, come on out. Like, come on, Marley, what are you doing? And then after that, I'm just pushing. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't. It hurts too bad. And I'm just doing, they're like, just one more push. I'm sitting there and they're like, deep breath, deep breath. And I'm just sitting there pushing. And I just like felt like a big old, like, I can't even describe the pain. Like, it wasn't really pain. It was just like pain and relief at the same time. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Wow. All I know is when Marley came out, she was like crying, and then they like put her on me, they threw her on me, and I was just holding her, and I was crying, and I was just like, you're okay, you're okay. And I just remember looking at Michael, and he started hugging my mom. He was crying and hugging on her, and I was just sitting here holding her. I was just like it's kind of making me emotional right now. I was just like, Marley, you're so cute. And I was just like, oh goodness gracious. And then I remember she pooped. She pooped on my hand. That was my labor and delivery story for Marley Ray.